So yeah, let's take a look here at Black Panther and his sidekick Shuri. Let's get into it with Black Panther. So Black Panther is a melee fighter with 14 health. Shuri is ranged with 6 health. They have a move of 2. Whenever you boost, draw 1 card. Cards stored in your Vibranium suit can only be used to boost. Here's the Vibranium suit. When an effect lets you store a card in your Vibranium suit, place it here so the boost value is showing. Getting into Panther's cards, 2 value attack, 2 boost, 2 copies Vibranium Shockwave. During combat, you may boost this card. Microwave Mesh, 2 value defense, 2 value boost, and 2 copies. During combat, you may boost this card. Anti-Metal Claws, 1 value versatile, 2 boost, 2 copies. During combat, add the boost value of the opposing fighter's card to this card's value, then you may boost this card. Wakanda Forever, 3 value versatile, 3 boost, 3 copies. During combat, you may boost this card up to 2 times. Draw a card for Black Panther special ability each time you boost. Then we have Ancestral Insight. It's a 4 value versatile, 1 boost, 3 copies. After combat, if you won the combat, reveal the top card of your opponent's deck and store it in your Vibranium suit. Analyze and Adjust. A 3 value attack, any card. 3 boost, 3 copies. After combat, reveal the top card of your opponent's deck and store it in your Vibranium suit. And then a 3 value defense, any. Evade. After combat, draw 1 card. There's 2 copies of that. Then Regroup. It's a 1. It's an any. After combat, draw 1 card. If you won the combat, draw 2 cards instead. 2 copies. And then Feint. Immediately cancel all effects on your opponent's card. There are 2 copies. Of course, it's a 2 value any. Cat-like Reflexes. 3 value any. 2 copies. After combat, if you won the combat, move one of the fighters in the combat up to 3 spaces. And then a scheme here. It's an any. Stalking Panther. Move each of your fighters up to 3 spaces. They may move through opposing fighters. Gain 1 action. 3 copies. Shuri card. 2 value versatile. Nano Triage Processor. After combat, Shuri recovers 1 health. If Black Panther is in the same zone as Shuri, he also recovers 1 health. 2 copies of that 2 value versatile. Tactical Remote Scanning. The Shuri only scheme, 2 copies, 3 boost. Choose an opponent. Reveal the top 2 cards of their deck and store them in your Vibranium suit. Let's take a look here at Black Panther, one of the most annoying characters in the game. He is such a menace. He has a move value only of 2, so that's just average, right? But you can boost in. And when you boost, you get to draw a card. So whenever you boost, not just from your movement, but from some of your card effects, you are drawing a card. And then you're also storing cards in your Vibranium suit, and they can only be used for boost. So that's his ability. Here's his Vibranium suit. And then you're just putting the opponent's cards here in your Vibranium suit and using them to boost at a later time. Speaking of which, we have our first card here, Vibranium Shockwave. So from your own cards, it can be boosted by 3 max. So that's a 5. But if you're boosting from the opponents, of course, it could be more if you have a 4 or higher in there. So that is Vibranium Shockwave. There's only 2 copies. Now we have kind of a copy of that card, but a defense, and that is Microwave Mesh. You may boost this card. So it's pretty much the same. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and you may boost it. So really, it's just the same card, but for defense only and then attack only. And of course, it's during combat, so you get to decide how much damage you're really taking if you have the opponent's cards to boost with or your own. Next up here, we have Anti-Metal Claws. For this card, I'd say know your opponent's cards because you're adding the boost value of the opposing fighter's card to this card's value. Then you can boost it. So usually you're at least getting a 1 at minimum, so it's a 2. Usually. There are some cases with like Loki or Sinbad and stuff. But usually you'll get this to a 2 and then be able to boost it after as well. And of course you could use it on attack, but I'd rather use this on defense normally. The nice part is the then right there. So you'll see that with some of his cards. All right. Next up here we have Wakanda Forever. This is a possible 9 with your cards, right? Because you may boost this card up to 2 times. You have cards with values of 3, so that is 9, but you'll probably be using the opponent's cards normally, and still it could be a possible 9, or if you only boost it once. But remember, you're also drawing cards, and you kind of got to be careful not to overdraw with him, because you will kind of like Achilles exhaust yourself and wear out over time. But otherwise, this is a really good card, and there are 3 copies of it, so even if you miss it once, you'll probably be able to do it again. If it gets canceled, you'll probably be able to do it again. It's a big hit. Next up, we have Ancestral Insight. A 4-value defense usually wins. Now, you could use this on attack, and you might win as well. And you definitely want to win because of the after combat. If you won the combat, reveal the top card of your opponent's deck and store it in your Vibranium suit. So you're stealing cards from the opponent. So if you use it on defense, usually you'll win. But you gotta know your opponent's deck. If they have 5s and 6s, of course, or boostable cards, you're probably not gonna win that one. So be very careful with Ancestral Insight. Another thing is, you can use it on fighters like Outlaws from Robin Hood's deck to get the effect more easily, because Robin Hood's sidekicks only have 3-value defense cards. The only thing that would stop it is a feint, and you're killing them anyway, so, that's nice. Well, you can get this off easier that way. And then here we have Analyze and Adjust. So yay, more stealing cards. 3 copies of it. Reveal the top card of your opponent's deck and store it in your Vibranium suit. So the other thing here is, sure, you can use this at ranged. So you could throw that out, And what you're trying to do during this game is keep Shuri safe. As we go through, I'd like you to remember that. We'll mention it again, of course, because it's so valuable for him. But either one of your characters can use this, and you're just pretty much throwing it out to steal cards from the opponent. And then Evade is exactly what you see is what you get. So Evade is draw 1 card after combat, and it's an any. Probably you can use it to keep either of your fighters alive, notably Shuri, because you want to keep her alive. And you're also just replenishing your hand in a 3-value defense, just average. Then we have Regroup. Draw 1 card if you want to combat. Draw 2 cards instead. So it's just a bait. Not bad. There's only 2 copies, and you can use it to throw out on an attack for Shuri. Kind of a mix-up for the Analyze and Adjust card. So they think that this is coming and they'll cancel it. Or maybe for Black Panther, they'll think the Wakanda Forever is coming, and they'll cancel the Regroup instead, and that's what you would prefer them to do. And if they don't cancel it, you're drawing a card. And if they don't defend, of course, you're drawing those 2 cards and keeping your hand replenished. Then a feint is a feint, but there are only 2 copies in the deck. So be careful when you use them. If your opponent has cards you need to feint a lot of them, be very tactful on which ones you are canceling. And here we have Cat-like Reflexes. If you won the combat, you're moving one of the fighters in combat up to 3 spaces. It's an any, so that's nice that Shuri can use it also. And it's a 3, not that great. It's just kind of basic card, but it is your only movement for enemies in this deck. And the other movement you're going to see is the scheme card here, Stalking Panther, but this is, positioning's good. If you can get the positioning in, that's not bad. Okay, Stalking Panther, as we just said, this lets you just get in there. You're moving each of your fighters up to 3 spaces and moving through opposing fighters. Either of your fighters can play it, but, it's not that important because you might as well just say Panther. And then you're gaining the action, so you're getting in there. Maybe you're able to do 2 boosted things and do some fake outs. So it's really nice if the opponent has sidekicks you need to get by. Stalking Panther. Now we're getting into the 2 Shuri cards we got. The first one is Nano Triage Processor. After combat, Shuri recovers 1 health. If Black Panther is in the same zone as Shuri, he also recovers 1 health. So it's better on attack, but it's not too powerful though. If you need it for defense, use it. Don't save it, right, for Shuri, because it's going to be pretty much useless except for boosting otherwise when Shuri is dead. And that brings me to this card. We do not want Shuri dead because of Tactical Remote Scanning, the craziest, most OP card in the deck. That's why Shuri needs to stay alive, because of Tactical Remote Scanning. This card is absolutely nuts. And mulligan for it at the beginning of the game if you didn't get it in your first 5 cards. Mulligan for it and draw 5 new. This is why you keep her alive, because you're taking 2 cards from their deck and storing them in your vibranium suit. That's a total of 4 cards for this card alone. So that is insane. Keep Shuri alive for the stealing of your opponent's cards. So finally, as Black Panther, what are we trying to do? Well, like I said, the most important thing is keep Shuri alive, because your battle plans will fall without her and you become this solo fighter that doesn't get to steal cards as much, and you lose your ranged sidekick and some of those fake outs. Next up is your vibranium suit. The fact that you can just steal cards from the opponent is just absolutely insane. You can just keep them there as well, and because some opposing fighters, some other characters in this game rather, have really key cards, and you can just snag those. Sometimes it's random, but you can snag them, and you don't have to spend them to boost, so that they don't go back in their discard pile. And then if they have cards that recursion those cards, then of course they can't recursion them if they're in your vibranium suit. So that's very important for Panther as well. The other good thing for you as Panther is that you don't have to boost with your own cards. You steal cards from the opponent, can boost with theirs. Now, always you have the option to boost with your own, but you're going to want to, use the vibranium suit cards if you can. Another thing I'd like to say is don't deck out. It is possible for you to deck out, as whenever you boost, you do draw a card. So be careful about that. You're playing that balance game and keeping an eye on their deck count and what's been played. That goes for all of Unmatched. It's very important, but just whenever you see a character with cards, or especially an ability that draws you a card, and this is not May, this is you have to draw a card if you boost, you got to be careful. On the other hand, you may be able to fatigue as you steal a lot of cards. You also potentially steal good cards, right? So you're stealing cards, putting them in your vibranium suit and just leaving them there. So that way you're not boosting, you're not drawing, and they're losing cards from the top of their deck. And in Panther's deck, you have a possible, let's see here, get all the cards out first. Here they are, all the cards that can steal from the opponent's deck, and you have 10 possible steals. So 1, 2, 3, 4 from the scheme. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is insane. If you can steal 10 cards, that is a good portion of the opponent's deck, and they won't be able to use a lot of their cards. And you can usually get these off. If they don't have cancels, you're definitely getting these off. And you keep Shuri alive, right? So, wow, super scary. If they have 3 cancels, okay, say they've canceled 3 times something, and that, you're playing that mind game, I doubt you're going to be able to do that. You're still stealing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards from them, which is still insane. It is one of the craziest steals in the game. You're not stealing from their hand, but you are taking from their deck, which essentially could deck them out quicker. And of course, they're just losing ammunition for their game plan. So we can see that this character is just absolutely nuts and very beatable still, right? Because of being able to potentially pick off Shuri, and that gets rid of her scheme, which is probably the most important thing for the opponent. And they're going to be, if they know this character, they're going to be gunning for her, and you don't want that. So keep her in the back, even taking damage on Panther if you have to, usually. And that's pretty much Panther. Otherwise, you're just making a lot of decisions of when to boost and what to boost with your opponent's cards. But as you go throughout the game, you can just see, okay, yeah, I need to boost with this card. I can do damage. Now, be careful if you are dealing just 2 damage, going over dealing 2. You gotta make sure that you're going to close out that kill in the game, because if not, you're going to be drawing a card anyway. And that evens it out with the steal, and then you draw with the boost. So, anyway, that's Black Panther. I hope you learned something. If you have anything you would like to add, please put in the comments below for others to read. Thanks for watching.